I just think sometimes when we think of fun, we think of action-packed, which is what you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But I also think that fun can be simple and slow.
Yeah.
Like catching up with a friend, maybe trying out a new recipe, or even just sitting on your back porch. And that's really about mindset. So one of the things to fun is just keeping that open, curious mind.
I like that.
So that even ordinary tasks can turn into fun experiences. And so it's really one of those things as a mom where you're trying to be so creative with your kids to teach them that summer fun doesn't have to be expensive. Hey moms, welcome back to the Gather Moms podcast. We are so excited to be in our summer series, which it's technically not summer yet. I mean, not for me. I still got school days left.
Well, we're preparing for summer.
Yes, and I agree. And honestly, you'd think I'd know this after all my years of being a mom, but it's been good for me to think through all these things we've been talking about. I ordered a book the other day, and I was like, Judd, we're going to read this book together this summer.
Good for you.
We're going to grow. I mean, it is in my lingo right
Let's
now.
grow, girl.
Yes, we doing it. We are growing.
Good.
I haven't figured out Abby yet. I think she really just needs to study her math facts. But still, we'll figure that out too. Something along those lines.
That's a great goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So today we are talking about summer fun. Fun is one of my favorite things.
You're so good at fun.
I don't know that I'm that great at it. You're very kind to keep saying that I'm so great at fun. But honestly, early in my motherhood journey, I was not the fun mom. I was the overstimulated, overtired, over angry cruise director, as you talked about.
Okay.
And I did not feel fun because when you have littles, it's hard to be fun in the summer.
It's hard to be fun. Are you going to share what turned it around?
They grew up.
Do you really think that's what it was?
They got older. I mean, I've had a lot of growth in my motherhood journey, so I'm sure there are other things that the Lord was working on.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like in our friendship, fun has always been something that has come easier to you than it has to me.
So maybe I was really good in public at being fun?
Yeah, that honestly, that's a real possibility. Actually, that's a real possibility.
I think that's a norm for a lot of people.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
We flip the switch when we go out those front doors.
No, but I think one of the things we said when we started this podcast was, or for me, I think one of the things that I said to you is I want it to be fun. Like,
yeah,
we had, before we started this in 2020, which it's crazy we're sitting here in 2025. That's banana pants.
Banana pants.
So almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in August, I guess, that we started this. I think the timing is right.
We need balloons. We're going to have balloons for the 5-year anniversary.
That feels wackadoo.
I'm getting them. I'm on it.
But one of the things we talked about is I said to you, we each have plenty of things going on. We don't really need to add another thing to our plate. But we love moms and we want to be able to bless them and share good things with them. But I just would love for this thing that we do to be fun.
Yes.
And if we get to the point where it's ever not fun, then let's cut it. And thankfully, doing this with you, it has remained something fun and something I look forward to doing. And, something for me that makes something fun is the ease of it.
Yeah.
Like how easy it is. Yeah. And this is easy. And so it's just it's easy for this to be fun.
I agree. And I think the more you do something, sometimes the funner it gets because you feel more, like you said, at ease with it. Because sometimes when you start things, you're like, I know this is going to be fun. We're just not there yet. I feel like that was motherhood. I know this is going to be fun. We're just not there yet.
Yeah.
But I think little kids in the summer is super hard. Because they don't have the autonomy that you need them to have because it's hot and they need shoes and they do things they shouldn't. And so you feel like you're screaming no all the time. Sure. And I felt like that with little kids. I just did not feel like the fun mom. But I think once your kids start school, summer actually becomes fun because it really is a break from the norm. I mean, when you have little kids at home, you're like, what's June? I mean, that's the same as March.
We're just running back what we did yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when your kids start school and you have summer, it really is, we get to turn the alarm clock off. We don't have to work on homework. I don't have to pack a lunch. So there is something to say for as your kids get older, summer fun is more of a thing.
Yes.
So I think that's part of it. And so maybe now I'm just a more fun mom because my kids are in school.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the weird little pieces, though, that happens when they get like middle school, early teenage age is then they get to the point where they really don't want to necessarily do anything with you that's not with their friends. Like that may not be their first choice. Now, a couple of my kids still really love doing stuff with us.
I was gonna say, I feel like my kids love me.
But one of our kids, it would not be their first choice. Like they're like, well, can any of my friends come? But then once we go, we call it forced family fun.
Yes.
Because then once we go, this child is like, I love this. Yes. I had the best time. This is the best vacation we ever had. But sometimes it's like with littles, you're kind of just telling them this is what we're doing. With bigger kids, there's a little bit of like coercion.
Oh, yeah.
Involved.
Manipulation. Yeah. Let's just call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the family fun is forced and then you get to the fun.
Yes.
But there's I guess there's challenges to making it fun at every stage.
Every stage. Yes. But what I want to talk about today is I kind of want to broaden our vision of fun.
Okay.
Because I think we all have in our mind what we think fun is. But maybe if we share some ideas today that are out of the box, that'll give you almost like a fresh vision for how to make more fun for your family. So let's start with Kate. You said fun means ease to you. What else does fun mean?
Fun means I'm not necessarily like having to fix, plan,
hands off.
Yeah, a little bit where it's like I'm getting to be a full participant in whatever we're doing instead of necessarily managing the activity.
Which is surprising to me because you love to manage things.
I do love to manage things, but it can be stressful. So, fun for me typically, and I guess, if we're thinking especially like in the context of our family, but even with my friends, fun for me is typically some kind of competition.
Yes.
So I like to play games.
Yes.
I like to play pickleball. I like to be sailing. Like I like to be doing something active. That is peak fun for me.
Okay. So when I looked up fun, the definition was anything that brings enjoyment, excitement, or pleasure.
Oh, okay.
So food is fun. Shopping is fun. I mean, cleaning can be fun. If you're one of those people that likes to clean, I know those people.
There are times when, we have talked about this before, and I try to be aware of this. When that cleaning wind hits, you just lean in with that. Like if you start getting the stirring to clean out a closet, or you get a stirring to like
wash a baseboard,
reorganize a pantry, clean the shower heads in the shower, like whatever, if that wind hits you, baby, you just lean in with it and you do whatever, because that moment is not necessarily going to come back.
No.
And you may not feel it again. So when you got it, you just lean in. I don't know what that is, but I think we all kind of have those moments where we're like, ooh, that actually sounds fun.
Right, exactly.
And then there's like this big payoff, when you do it and you're like, don't you know, like I just cleaned out my dresser drawers a couple weeks ago, and for the next 2 days, you kind of walk by.
Love opening that drawer.
And every time you open the drawer, there's like this little like boost, this little like,
yes.
Yeah, I did that.
Yes. I think fun varies from person to person.
I agree.
Because some people are listening right now going, I have never once thought cleaning out a dresser drawer was fun.
Okay.
It'll grow on you. Just hang on for your like late 40s. It's coming for you. I promise. It's coming. So my husband loves looking at maps. He thinks looking at maps is fun.
So I'm going to immediately put that in the not fun column.
Exactly. But he literally will sit on the couch and just look at maps. Like the Earth view, where you like look at it from the sky, from the space.
Because of a flight plan?
And then you zoom. No, man, he just like if he hears about something on the news, he'll like, oh, I'm going to look that city up. And he just looks at maps.
Wow. No, that's enough.
But I think organizing my Tupperware sometimes is fun. Because then you feel like, man, I'm ready for the leftovers.
Absolutely.
Come at me.
Yes.
So everything can be different for people as far as fun. So, Kate, I'm going to give you 2 options of things.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me which one sounds more fun.
Okay.
Okay, first one. Iced coffee and a good book, or doing something creative like painting or sewing.
Oh, gosh, it depends on my mood, but probably my instinct is to say iced coffee and a good book.
That's what I thought you were going to choose. Okay. Next
Would you say creative?
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me some Mod Podge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go to town. Okay, next one. Long walk outside with a girlfriend, or snuggled on the couch watching movies with your family.
long walk with a girlfriend.
Okay.
The snuggling on the couch with the family, the kids fight over who's sitting next to me and who's snuggled up next to me, and then
every time I put that blanket on me too, I'm like, did you sneeze on this?
Oh, for
I just
sure.
start to wonder what's in it.
Yeah. By the way, when you get the cleaning bug, think about all those blankets that are in your baskets and make sure those go through the wash.
That's a good
temporarily,
idea.
moms.
That's a good idea. Okay, number 3, a workout class like hot yoga or Pilates.
Okay.
Or running on the treadmill at the gym by yourself.
Ooh, I like the idea of both of those. I do more of the second one. I run on the treadmill at the gym by myself. So I think doing something new like a hot yoga class or Pilates sounds fun.
That would be fun. Okay. Next one, brunch with a group of girlfriends or a coffee date with just one good friend.
I think brunch with a group of girlfriends.
Okay. A concert by your favorite artist or walking around a farmer's market.
Oh,
these are good, right?
I
came up with good ones.
Do I have unlimited? Do I get to buy things at the farmer's market, or I'm just like looking?
I mean, I think so. You'd probably buy a T-shirt at the concert. So, girl, you buy what you want.
Okay, I still think I'm going to go concert.
Okay. I would totally do farmer's market. You just have to get up early on Saturday mornings to go do that. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to get up at 8. Okay.
So can I just tell you, my hesitation on farmer's market is I feel bad for all the vendors. Like,
so
I know
you buy something from everybody?
They're all small businesses. And so I'm like,
I'm not afraid. I will say no. I can walk by. It's fine. Okay, last one. Gardening or thrifting?
Gardening.
Okay.
What would yours be?
Thrifting.
Really?
Yeah. Because, listen, I got a kid in college. I am looking for cheap things. Okay. That's where we at.
Okay.
And I know what happens in July with gardening. Ain't nobody watering the tomato plants in July. So sorry.
I get overwhelmed with thrifting.
Really? Oh, because there's too much.
Too many options, too many things. Yes. Yeah.
So Jenny, our other gather mom, and us, she loves like TJ Maxx and Ross. She would totally go for thrifting. She would love it.
I can't do it. It gives me hives. And my middle girl likes it. She likes to go to those places. Mm-hmm. And we have a new like resale shop in the area that has like people resell like Lulu and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We spent a day together. So I took her in there and I just was like, it just makes my skin crawl a little bit. There's too many choices. There's too much stuff to sift through. I'm a boutique girl where I go into a small boutique.
She needs a mannequin at the front.
A limited number of options.
Fully put together outfits.
Yeah. Yes. Everything's organized, new, clean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, girl.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes when we think of fun, we think of action-packed, which is what you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Like lots of action and lots of like things going on and everybody's happy and having a good time. But I also think that fun can be simple and slow.
Yeah.
Like catching up with a friend, maybe trying out a new recipe, or even just sitting on your back porch. Mm. Like fun has so many different facets to it. And I also think fun is free. Like we always assume you have to spend money to have fun.
Yeah.
But really, it doesn't have to cost you anything.
Yeah.
You can make anything you're doing fun with the right perspective. Because I think sometimes our minds just go to whatever we've been fed by media or the world instead of considering what God has already created to be fun.
Yeah, and I like that this episode is about growing our summer fun because I don't know that I necessarily am good about prioritizing fun in the summer. I've gotten better. Like I think I told you on a previous episode that like Friday is Fun Mom Friday. So I'm gonna cut loose. I'm not gonna open the laptop. We're gonna go do something fun together. But it's just not something that I have always prioritized. And I think there is a bit of fun for me that's like a little bit of like, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but where you just kind of like do what sounds good.
Yes. Free-flowing fun.
Yes. And I just think that's great.
It might not be free, but it could be free-flowing.
Well, but it's just great to be like, what sounds good? Does it sound good for us to go to the pool today? Does it sound good to go get a snow cone? Does it sound good to go read a book? And, both of us sit in a coffee shop on the porch and read books or, whatever it is that I think you're right that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but there is something I think for moms to prioritizing fun because we can get so bogged down in just keeping everyone else happy, keeping the to-dos going, the management of life, that we forget to enjoy what's in front of us.
I agree. And that's really about mindset. And mindset is the lens through which we view the world. So really, you could walk into any situation and you could have a positive mindset, like this is going to be awesome, or you could have a Debbie Downer mindset, like this is going to be terrible. So one of the things to fun is just keeping that open, curious mind.
I like that.
So that even ordinary tasks can turn into fun experiences. And this is so important to teach our kids because they often think of the extravagant fun. Amusement parks, concerts, vacations. They always want to go to Starbucks and get the pink drink or whatever. And so it's really one of those things as a mom where you're trying to be so creative with your kids to teach them that summer fun doesn't have to be expensive.
That's great.
And so going out to eat and getting ice cream, all those things are great, and you can do those, but you can also create fun at home too where it doesn't cost as much.
I love that.
So I think as moms, one of the stressors in the summer is that we feel this burden to buy and pay for things because we're trying to create fun for our families. And I don't know, as the mom, like my husband does our finances, but I still feel a pressure to like keep up and make sure that I'm, being responsible with our finances. And so sometimes in the summer it gets away from you. And so you do end up feeling like, God, I thought the school year was so expensive, but now we're in the summer and it's so expensive. And then you get to August and of course you're paying for everything again. So it just never stops. So we really want to be able to teach our kids that there are ways to have fun that don't cost a lot of money. So 2 things we're going to try and do in the next few minutes is we're going to talk about how we can have fun with our kids and not break the budget. And then how do we have fun with our kids doing ordinary tasks?
Okay, love
that. The things that we have to keep up with anyway, but trying to make them fun. So one of the things that I thought about, and I think I've seen this grow more as I've been a mom longer and my kids have grown up, is that actually having fun, you can serve together. And serving together is actually really fun. You immediately think of it as like work or, okay, we're going to go do this thing. But when you get into the middle of it, it actually ends up becoming really fun.
Yeah.
So thinking about trying to come up with service projects or ways that you can bless other people around you is one way that you can create fun without having to spend a lot of money. So this past month at our Christian school where I teach, we went on a mission project and we went to a food pantry. I had 7th graders and we filled food bags for families in need. And of course the beginning is like, do we have to do this? They're all like, what? I don't want that job. You do it. But it's amazing once you get halfway through it, everybody is fully involved. And they've got a system going and they're trying to be organized. It's like they get this opportunity to lead. And then as they're leading, they have so much fun doing it. And what happens is the walls that we put up in front of each other to like look good or act right fall down because you're so busy serving together. And you actually get to know each other better. Because you start just having random conversations and you start talking about things that you probably wouldn't normally talk about. And so you come out of that serving opportunity even closer than when you started. And I think that's so important for our families. One of the ways that we can have summer fun and grow closer together as a family is to serve together. Do you agree?
I completely agree. And I'm really thankful. I feel like the pastor at our church talks about this a lot, how he likes to first of all, he says that he tells his kids cool things that are happening in ministry, and then he has made it more of a point to like bring them along when he does stuff. And so I'm thankful for that model because I feel like in the last 2 years I've tried to do that more. So like as we have done things where we have gone and ministered to moms, I try and bring the kids along with us. It meant the world to me. Our last mom's event, my husband and your husband helped run the parking team, and then our kids helped with them. And so, I mean, when I tell you a fun moment was for me to look over and see my husband and then my little 8-year-old in her safety vest with her little glow wand helping direct traffic.
Exactly.
That is fun. And then to look over and see my tween daughter helping run the merch table, and interacting with moms.
Yes.
I help lead my middle daughter's small group, and I've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years. And a couple weeks ago, I had a work event that ran late, and I came in. Have I told this story recently?
I mean, you told it to me, but I don't know if you told them. But who cares? They can listen to it again. They're riding in their car right now. They're like, say it, Kate.
I had a work event that ran a few minutes late, but I lead their small groups on Wednesday. Their small group on Wednesday night, and so Lydia, my middle, who's 13, 14 now, was watching me on Life 360, and she saw that I was getting into the parking lot, but she kind of knows the routine of what we do in small group. And so, I'm thinking I'm going to walk into small group and it's going to be chaos.
Yes.
Just a bunch of 13, 14-year-old girls just talking, chitter-chatting. And I open the door and I see Lydia standing at the front of the room, and she's leading them in an icebreaker. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, talk about fun. In the heart of a parent, that is fun.
Yes.
To watch your kids step up into that leadership moment. And I was like, and I looked at her and she was like, Mom, I started with the icebreaker. Is that okay? And I'm like, yes, girl, cook. You go run it. And then she finished the icebreaker and she was like, okay, do you want to take over? And I was like, why don't you keep going? What do we do next?
Yes.
And she looked at the girls and she said, okay, teach the lesson back to me. Because that's what we do every time is I have them, whatever they just heard in large group, I have them teach it back to me. And so then Lydia grabs the dry erase marker and she's writing things down on the board. And I do think that has become a way, the older that they've gotten, that we can do that together, serve together. But I'll tell you, I mean, I started doing that when they were little. They were little. Lydia was in a stroller and Caleb was, 6. And I would take them and help at an after school program. We have a ministry here and a community, and I would go and spend time with kids after school and help them with their homework. And then my kids would just play with the other kids that were in this after school care. But we had the chance, I would say, this is what we're going to do. And I just brought them along with me. Exactly. So I think that's just always been part of like the ethos of our family is that we're going to take them along as we go and serve.
Well, and I think summer provides an opportunity where you may have extra time
Absolutely.
to do more serving.
Yeah.
So one summer when my boys were in elementary, and I'm pretty sure that Abby was like pre-K, we signed up to do Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
And it was such a great opportunity for my kids because it didn't require a lot. They already had the meals packaged, and we just had a list of addresses and got to deliver them, but they got to carry them to the door and knock and take them in. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways that you can get even little kids involved in serving, and in the summer you have more time.
Absolutely.
So, ask your church.
Ask your church. That's what I was going to say.
Ask your church. Look in your community.
Yeah.
Even if you just want to take care of a neighbor that maybe needs help, weeding or putting down mulch, there's just so many ways that you can serve together. I think that's fun. I just don't think we think about it in that way.
I agree. I love that you thought of that because I agree. I think that's very fun.
Okay, next one. Have fun around the house. So if there's any mom out there listening right now that has figured out how to keep your house clean in the summer, when your kids are with you 24/7 and you are constantly picking up, I wrote these down, shoes, socks, dirt, food, games, toys, blankets, cups, and Amazon packages.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all in my house right now.
All good. Wet towels.
From
the pool.
Yes.
Yeah. Shoes. I feel like shoes is a prime offender.
Mine is socks. There's just random socks all over the house. Yes. Because my daughter wears tennis shoes. She doesn't really wear, like, sandals. I don't know what it is about her feet. She has beautiful feet, but she won't wear them. There are socks everywhere. But in the summer, it's, like, extra because everybody's home all day and all evening, and they're going and coming. And so if you've got an answer, please reach out to Gather Moms. We would like to know. But it's super hard to keep your house clean. So I was trying to think of ways to make it fun to, like, keep our houses picked up and going since we're all together for so long. So I have some ideas. First one is a dance party. So make a pickup playlist. So certain songs that you could pick up the house to and even make it a certain time, like maybe it's 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So the kids know when the music starts, we start picking up, and when the music stops, we all get to stop.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how much you can get done in like 3 songs worth of time, especially if it's upbeat and fun.
I completely agree. This is a play we have run in this house. And I think that one of the things that just teaches them without you having to like say it is that we can make work fun.
Yes.
And so, work can be fun. So whatever it takes, I don't know about you guys, but like when I get into my office at work, I'm like, oh girl, play Forrest Frank. And that's like how sometimes if I need a little boost, I put that on to kind of get me going. And so, my little list was 6, and she would start hilariously. What she says to old girl is play 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
We all know Kate's love for Dolly Parton, so that makes 100% sense. But yes, there's certain songs that just make you want to get up and move.
Yes.
And so you can make the idea of like once a day we do a pickup. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets in on it.
I love that.
And then that sets the tone for the rest of the day.
I love that, yeah.
Okay, the next one I'm calling Squeaky Clean Scavenger Hunt. So I thought this would be fun, is when you are trying to get your kids to clean something, maybe it's their room or the bathroom or the kitchen, find some random item and show it to them and say, I'm going to go hide this in that room. And as you're cleaning, when you find it, you win a prize.
Okay.
So it's like forcing them to clean and look, because sometimes my kids clean and they don't do a good job.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to get done.
Yeah.
But maybe if you hide some little small item in there, they might make it more fun, especially for little kids. I think little kids would think that was fun too.
That's cute. I love that.
So that way everybody's cleaning, but then you have some prizes too.
Yeah.
And that's one of my ideas for summer fun is before you get to summer, go by the Dollar Tree or like a $5 gift card and just go ahead and stack some of those in a drawer somewhere. So when you need a prize to get people moving, you already have it.
Love.
Okay, last one is just the idea that we are trying to change mindsets. We talked about that earlier. And we're trying to help our kids see that too, that fun and their mindset go together. Because if you go into a situation thinking this could be fun, you're going to have a better return. And what you were talking about earlier, I think sometimes when you have a clean space, it actually creates a better mood for everybody involved. And so when we can clean and refresh our spaces, especially our homes where we're spending so much time, it's going to create a better environment for your family. Hopefully it puts your teenagers in a better mood. It makes your kids easier to go to bed because you're not stepping over toys and all the things. And so I just think this whole idea of keeping our houses as part of our fun routine is teaching them that a clean space provides opportunity for them to get stuff done.
I love that. Yeah.
And I know for me, like you were talking about with your dresser drawer, when I clean out my closet or I put all my clothes away after laundry, it's way more fun getting dressed the next day.
Yeah, and I think our kids get that too. Like they know what that feels like when they clean something out and it looks nice and it feels good. They get it.
Yeah.
They get it. Yeah. They get that little dopamine hit.
Yes.
And we want to teach them how to get that from good, healthy things and not just those screens.
Exactly. Okay, last one is having fun with others. So the thing about fun is that it's contagious. And so when you get a group together and one person starts having fun, then everybody starts to follow behind. So remember that the way that you're feeling in your home, like stuck or hot or tired or overtouched, is probably the same way that another mom is feeling in her home.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and just reach out and create a rhythm where you and other moms are getting together. I think you set up a standing play date every week. Like on Mondays at 9, we meet at the park.
Cute.
If you can come, come. If you can't, can't. But it's always way more fun for our kids when their friends are there. Because I remember trying to take my kids to the park in the summer when they were little. They would get bored immediately. Like, Mom, come play with us. Mom.
Yeah, they want you to play with them.
And you were like, I just want to sit here on this bench for just a moment.
Yeah.
Well, just get some other kids there.
Great.
Then you and the mom can sit and chat, and the kids can go play.
Yeah.
And just a couple ideas to make that easy. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, the pool bag.
Yeah.
Have a park bag.
Love that.
Some sunscreen, some shades, maybe some snacks or a ball that you just always keep in your car anytime you want to stop at the park. Also, keep a cooler in your trunk. I think this is a great idea for summer. Keep a cooler, like a small, medium one, in your trunk so that anytime you're going somewhere, you could grab a bag of ice from the gas station, throw some drinks in there, because that's the number one thing is you get somewhere and you get dehydrated or thirsty and you're like, well, now we have to get back in the car and go to Sonic.
Yeah.
Well, if you already had a drink with you, you wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So I think having a park bag for the summer would be a great idea. And just remember that other moms are feeling the same way that you are. So just get ahead of it and go ahead and say, look, I know by July we're all going to be over this. So let's just plan some fun things to do then so we can be looking forward to that.
Yeah, I love that.
And then the last thing that I wanted to share is something that does cost money. But in my mind, it's one of the pivotal pieces to our kids growing up, and it's church camp. And I've just noticed probably in the last 5 to 10 years, actually, not just this year, that so much of church camp has been replaced by other camps, which are great. Basketball camp, volleyball camp. But I just think that they're missing that spiritual piece. And something that I think is so important for our kids is while we do have them under our roof, to be constantly pouring, dripping that spiritual water over them. And there is something really special about a week at church camp. And I know it's gotten expensive. Like, I'm a mom too. I get it. When you have multiple kids trying to send them to multiple church camps, it does get pricey. But I would say that it's the best money that you'll spend on your kids because you just can't put a price tag on what they're going to get that week at camp. And when I talk to people as adults, so many of them say, there was this one time at church camp, or there was this one time the speaker said this, or this worship leader. There are so many core memories that our kids make at church camp that stay with them for literally a lifetime.
I completely agree. And when we talk about, One of the things we've been saying is that summer is an opportunity for us to lean in with them with their faith. We have more time to have some intentional conversations. And man, if your church is saying, or of a great like Christian camp that you could send them to, if that opportunity is there and you can make it work, I am with Rebecca that you would go all in on that. It is a chance for them to unplug in a very real way from just the noise of this world and to be with the God that loves them. They often get to be around leaders that are cool, fun, a little bit older than them, that are going to lead them and kind of give them a picture of what their future could look like. Some people where they go, ooh, they're fun and cool and they love Jesus. Okay, I want to be like that. And it helps give them a picture of a special future that they want to live into. And then God really does, in those moments where they're detached from everything else, you see it catapult them forward in their faith. They take leaps instead of baby steps because of that concentrated time with other believers and things like that. I think my question for you, Rebecca, would be, for parents who send their kids off to church camp and the kid comes home, how do we nurture and cultivate that experience that they have just had at camp? What would you encourage parents to do? And then maybe what even like to not do as the kids come home from camp?
Well, one of the things that I know I experienced growing up going to camp and then with my own kids is that they come off that week so exhausted and tired and spiritually full, but almost in a way that they're not quite sure how to process.
Okay, that's good.
And they need time. And so don't like put them in the car and like barrage them with 1,000 questions. Maybe just ask a couple and see if they're ready to share, or if they're like, man, I'm beat, I just need some food, and go get them a hamburger or something. And then as soon as you guys walk through the door, do not be like, I need that whole suitcase unpacked and laundry. Start barking the orders. You almost need to give them like 24 hours to just kind of come off of that spiritual high. And I really do think that because camp is so concentrated, they have taken in so much spiritual truth, it is going to naturally come out of them over the next few weeks. You'll find yourself 3 weeks later and they'll share something from camp they hadn't told you yet. And you're like, how could you have not told me that yet? That's just the way that they're processing that information. So I think as parents, one of the best things we can do is be quiet and patient.
That's great.
When they come home from church camp.
Wonderful.
I think what's so cool is that I know from the backside, because I'm married to a youth pastor that literally goes to camp every single summer, the church puts so much time and energy into creating this amazing experience for your kids. And I just don't know any other place that does that. That's so intentional with trying to make every moment at camp special for your kid. I also think you've got, what Kate said, leaders from all walks of life. And I was even thinking about, like, my kids go now as camp counselors and helpers. And they're not always perfect at home, but it's amazing when they step outside your home and they're in charge of these younger people. They just like grow up before your eyes. They start saying stuff that you're like, I've never heard you say that before. But they have this moment to lead and they really take advantage of it and they do it so well. What a beautiful opportunity for your younger kid to get to look up to an older high school kid, just what Kate said, and think, I want to be like that. I want to be a rock star Christian. I don't want to give in to the world. I don't want to fit in. I want to stand out. That's what camp is for. And so many places that do church camps offer scholarships. So it's actually still possible for you to sign your kid up for church camp. So wherever you are, go ahead and look around for a good church camp. Maybe the church that you go to, obviously start there. But like Kate said, there's other amazing church camps that offer places for your kids to go. And ask for a scholarship. Do not be afraid to ask for financial help, because I know the people that are giving the money for that want your kid to have that opportunity. That's why they're giving finances to help kids get there. So make sure and take advantage and go to church camp. And just as a side note, my very first church camp, I was going to be a freshman in high school, and our church had not really gone up to that point. We took like 10 kids to this big camp with hundreds of people. We all got split up in different groups. We barely saw each other during the day. So the second day of camp, I called my mom and I asked her to come get me. And I left as a, I don't know,
on the payphone, right?
On the payphone. That's all we had back then. We didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
She did not want to come get me because it was a long drive, but she did. And my youth minister begged me to stay, but I wouldn't. And I think as parents, when what we hope for our kids doesn't work out like we hope, we think maybe that it's a miss or a fail. it was not, because what it did is it just dipped my toe into that life. And the next year I went back and stayed all week. Just because you send your kid to church camp and they don't come back this radical Christian that you hoped for does not mean that it was a miss or a fail. God is planting seeds and doing things in them that you honestly aren't going to know the full effect of for many, many years.
That's great.
So just give it a shot. And if they have to come home or they don't love it, that's okay. But to me, it's worth the try because of the benefit on the other side for your kid.
Fantastic. I agree.
Okay, so last thing I just want to share, just as we think about this idea of fun for the summer, I just want to remind us that we live in a world that praises productivity, busyness, and often equates worth with achievement. But somewhere in that hustle, we forget that it's really essential to have fun because fun matters. Fun is not a luxury, it's not childish, and it's not a waste of time. It is fuel for our soul. It's in the laughter that we connect. It's in the play that we learn resilience, creativity, and courage. Fun opens us up. And it makes room for healing and perspective. It helps us breathe again after stress or disappointment or exhaustion. When we invite fun into our lives, we invite life itself. So mamas, remind yourselves and your kids that this opportunity to have fun can be sacred because it's our opportunity to pause and be reminded that our God is the one that created fun. And so he wants us to prioritize it and model it and live it because fun is part of life and he delights in us when we delight in fun.
I think that's so good. For me personally, just after this conversation, I think my takeaway is I'm going to write this verse on a card and it will be the first thing I read every morning when I wake up in the summer because, I struggle with the summer scaries. Mm-hmm. And so for me to enjoy it, I think I want to just every morning say, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it and look for the ways to enjoy it and embrace the fun that God has put before us, to really be thankful for the day and live fully in it. So thank you for that encouragement.
You bet, mamas. Let's grow our summer fun.
Let's grow, girl. Woo woo.
Okay, mamas. We'll see you next time.
Love you.
Bye.